Hey guys, it is Tuesday. I've got my bike trailer out and I'm gonna try attaching it to one of the bike share bikes. And I brought a gear tie to, tie it on there, and it seemed like it worked pretty well. And yeah, biking past Robarts, not as big of a crowd. It's a bit before 11 and I'm heading over this way. I'm going over to Hart House Theater. I'm gonna meet up with Amanda. And yeah, it looks like they're putting down some new AstroTurf on this field. That's kind of neat. And yeah, gonna meet up just in front of the theater. We're gonna pull some props and wardrobe stuff, I guess. Hart House is pretty chill, letting us borrow some things for the lawyer show. And yeah, they kind of just let us browse around the, they're like storage rooms. And that was good. I'm kind of just like looking through the overall list of stuff for the show that Amanda's put together and walking around being like, yeah, this is something that we actually could use. Like some old newspapers. It's, worked out with a lot of things. And last year when I was here, they just showed me like that section. Because I guess I was very specific with what I asked for, but definitely better to just browse around and like look at stuff. Yeah, those brandy glasses are made out of plastic, so it's perfect for us. And some chairs that the people want to look at, and then eventually I'm going to cover those in cardboard. So yeah, here's the wardrobe room. Pretty big. Definitely have lots of good stuff. Some feather dusters. Feather dusters are surprisingly expensive. Like $40 to $50. I don't know, guys. We didn't actually need any of that though. And yeah, Amanda has grabbed a bunch of things. There's one point in this show there's gonna be like 40 people on stage in costume, so she's definitely just going a bit ham, pulling stuff off of the racks. And I'm helping a bit too, since I've mostly looked at the props that I think are useful. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but the show is Annie, and I'm not like a theater guy really, so I'm not like super familiar with it, but it's like an orphan and stuff. But what is important is that the show is going to use like a cardboard motif for a bunch of props. So like that's a barrel that they're like cooking on a fire, but it's, cardboard, and you draw on it to make it look like a bit more of whatever it is. Which is good because, cardboard is cheap if not free, and the black paint and stuff, again, pretty cheap. We can probably a lot cheaper to make this than buy a marionette or rent one from somewhere, who knows. And yeah, talked with Amanda. This is pretty much the main list of things that I gotta focus on, so seems pretty manageable for within the month. Probably try to make most of that stuff within the next week or two. And yeah, Amanda definitely pulled a lot of stuff. It was worth it to hire a cab and take that cab directly to where they're going to store most of it. So Amanda called the cab, and yeah, we're going to their office space. I guess this is like a new office because this wasn't something that we did last year, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm just kind of going along for the ride of like, you want me to move this stuff? I move the stuff. Alright. And it was a bit like, alright, everybody, we're just doing stuff. Yeah. I mean, I had a meeting, so she's doing that now, and I'm gonna meet up with Tyler in like 2 hours, kind of in this area, so I had some time to kill. And I figured I'd walk around Canadian Tire for a little bit, look at the stuff. And then I remembered that there's a Service Ontario in the basement here. And when I got there, there was no line, so I got my house card renewed. which has been expired since like 2019. And you know, the pandemic happened and it was like weird to do stuff, and it was just a pain, so I just put it off for a really long time, and that seemed to be fine. It was you know, not too much of a hassle. You know, I answered a bunch of questions and got it getting a new one in the mail soon. So yeah, kind of just chilling out at Canadian Tire, looking at stuff. I remembered I could actually use some new hockey tape to wrap up my bike with. I like to protect the paint on it when I'm always using the U-lock on it. It's getting chipped sometimes, but I don't know how important that really is. But whatever. At this point, I'm kind of hungry, and I'm gonna donate blood with Tyler. So I wanted to eat a meal before that. And I was gonna try this new place, El Gourmet, but after standing there for like 3 minutes, I was like, I guess no one works here, so I'll just go somewhere else. Which wound up being the food court underneath of where the Hudson Bay used to be. Kind of a weird food court. And I walked through and I was looking for like, what's a good value, you know? I'm always about good value. I decided to get Manchu Wok. It was like 1 noodle and meat. I didn't want to eat too much before donating blood, but it was not a good value. It turned out to be like $17 after like, I was like, yeah, I do want a can of pop, and I don't know. The cheaper options weren't available, and I was like, well, I'm already in this deep, and I got scammed kind of feeling. I don't know, guys. Maybe there just was no good option. So yeah. After I ate food, kind of just hung out for a while, played Bellatra on my phone, then it was our blood donation time. And before you donate blood, you know, they have the questionnaire, and I did it earlier today. And like some of the questions are like, do you feel unwell? And I felt like I should probably talk about my scraped knee, you know, like what if they care about the scraped knee? But they did not care about the scraped knee. And the guy interviewing me kind of seemed like, I don't know, I just thought that they would care more about like a potential wound that's infected. I mean, it's not infected, but like it could have been, you know. He didn't even want to look at it. But whatever. I donated blood. Tyler and I, we hung out for a while and ate snacks, which I guess I didn't record, but after that, walked over to Sherborne, and I'm taking one of the bikes and heading down to Amanda's. Yeah, going past Allen Gardens. Not really any homeless tents anymore. Still the Sacred Flame people are there. I assume they're just gonna be there forever, I guess. Like, if that's what they want to do. Alright. And yeah, it was all downhill, so pretty nice ride. Yeah, Amanda and Lion are gonna go to a theater show thing. They didn't work on it, but it's a little bit of like, you know, you gotta socialize with the people that you're like working with, basically, kind of thing. And yeah, so I'm gonna be watching The Boys tonight. They've watched Pokemon, the TV show, and they've got a bit of a Pokemon craziness going on, which I'm into. I'm like, hell yeah, guys, Pokemon, this is sick. And yeah, Amanda Line made me the spaghetti dinner. That's pretty tasty. And we said their goodbyes to the boys. Yeah. We played with some Lego. Hero, he's like, come on, let's make Bowser, man. And I pretty much told him, I'm not making Bowser, guys. It seems impossible, especially when they take it apart. But he was happy to play with the Lego at least. And then they were messing around with the cards and they're like, teach me how to play the game. Well, I kind of lost track of time. Normally their bedtime is 7:30, but around 8:40 I noticed what time it was. So I was like, oh shit, we gotta go to bed. Whoops. So they went to sleep pretty quick, and Amanda and Lion came home not long after. And I remembered to ask Amanda for some arnica for my knee. I figured she would have some, you know, raising 2 young boys, getting their bumps and bruises. Plus apparently Holden had come home with a big injury at one point. So she felt like probably worth it to have some medical stuff on hand, which I was happy to use. Yeah, with my my blood donation band-aid and my knee effed up, I was like, man, I'm like a little bit fucked up. And I don't know. They were hyping up how cold and windy it was. They like wanted to call me an Uber home, but honestly, it wasn't that cold. It was windy, but I don't know. I'm just going slow anyways on the bike. I was gonna take an e-bike, but there just wasn't any convenient ones around, so just pedaled on back over to Hart House to get my trailer. Yeah, remember the trailer at the beginning of the video? Yeah, we didn't wind up using it, but it was good to have it as an option, I guess. And I was glad to see no one stole my net or the bungee cord. Like, I don't know, maybe campus security is like always patrolling around and stuff, but who knows, maybe just, you know, people didn't want to mess with my stuff, so I appreciate it. And yeah, that's more or less it for the day. Kind of a action-packed day, I guess. I don't know. I thought I was gonna come home at some point, but everything more or less comboed into just me doing the next thing that I had planned for the day. Yeah, later.